Okay, here we go. Those of you, this is a special day because we have Jason Stephenson on the show, and we're going to learn a new truth about balancing and grounding ourselves during the difficult times. So fasten your seatbelts because we're going to learn and grow together. And Jason, you know, normally we have music, but this time we're just going to go straight to the start. Hello, my listening friend. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful, best day ever. And if you have been listening to the show for the last 7 years or the last day, welcome back. I'm so grateful for you. But if this is the first time you've tuned in, I've been waiting for you. Please know that this is a place that you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening friend, and my viewing friend, that will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Now, today I'm really excited because I don't know, it's been like 3 or 4 months. I can't remember how long it's been. Seems like an eternity. Jason Stephenson has been on the show, you know, and he showed us meditation, and he did a special meditation as a bonus at the end, and how to, you know, has one of the biggest YouTube following for meditations, guided meditation. And once you hear his voice, you'll go, I remember him. So as we're building up the series with Jason, I want to ask you the question, how easy is it for you to feel calm when everything is good? But what do you do to regain composure when our results don't match our desires? We are starting a new series segment called Mastering Meditation with Jason Stephenson. And so we're going to have like heart-to-hearts with Jason and how we can master our lives so that we can learn the tricks to remain grounded and balanced. So for the last 15 years, this best-selling author, YouTube meditation, sleep music channel has grown to close to 1 million followers. I want what he's having. And so today we're going to continue to see how we can create this balance even in the stressful times of our lives. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am so grateful that Jason Stephenson is here to do just that. Welcome back, Jason, to the Lillian McDermott radio show.
Hello, Lillian. Thank you very much for having me back too. It's a pleasure to be here and to be in your presence and the listeners' presence as well.
Just listening to your voice, I'm ready to go, So today, Jason, and you and I talked a long time after our first show together, and you're like my brother from another mother, and we are putting together this series because we live in a stressful life. Life does happen. So share a little bit about your journey and how meditation helped you get centered and grounded.
Okay, sure. I've had an interest in meditation for probably, since I was in my early 20s, but I just dabbled in it back then, just dabbling away. And it wasn't probably until late 30s that I felt really, really compelled to dive into it after some health issues, some major suffering of anxiety and stress, depression. And it was like recommended to me, have you tried meditation? I said, yes, I have actually. Well, I think a counselor said, well, I think it's a good idea that you begin to do that now. And that was due to the anxiety that I was going through. And I'd never had anxiety before in my life, to be honest with you. And I didn't even know what it was. And anyway, so that's when I went into meditation and began to use it myself and began to recognize the power of meditation. And so then I decided it was time to give back to the world and to create my own meditations for children and for adults so that people could come back to a calm space, to who they truly are,
Mm-hmm.
and to get through those difficult times, because I know so very well it's not easy, and they keep coming up throughout life. And
Yes.
so here I am
And
doing this.
yeah, and life, we think that we deal with some of our issues in our past and we deal with some of the issues in our lives, and we think it's one and done. And it's not. It's really like breathing, right? You breathe, you don't say, oh, I breathed once, I'm done. No, it's a
Yeah,
constant breathing, right? Because breath is so important in our life. And so as you are exploring meditation for yourself, did you feel that the more you meditated, the more you needed to know a little bit more of your life?
definitely. And yeah, and even to this day now, the more I meditate, the more I feel like how much I don't know, and um, the deeper I want to go with
Mm,
my life and with being the best that I can be, for myself and for others that I come into contact with.
I love that.
I
The
feel like
more
it's,
I don't know, the deeper I want to know. So
yes,
or I want to go. That's
yes,
great. That's a great start for this meditation and mastering meditation on Mondays, because this is with Jason Stephenson. And we're going to continue our conversation when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Yes. Okay. So as we get started, Jason, and we start talking about mastering this,
mm,
even the master becomes the student, and the
oh,
student becomes the master. And I really want to nail that when we go back on the air. I really want to nail how are we ever there? Do we ever arrive and say, I am a master meditator, and so now everything's going to roll off my back?
mm, that's a great topic to talk about, because I know that I don't, yeah, certainly I don't believe we'll ever master it whilst we're living here alive on this planet. Yeah.
Eckhart totally does.
Is it really? Yeah. I know. Well, okay. And some of them do another. Yeah.
Well, and I remember there is a guest that I've had on in my show. He was a regular for a long time until he got too big for his britches and from the show. Actually, he's a good friend now. But JP Sears, he when I first saw him on YouTube, and I just absolutely loved him. The first time I met him, I said, I just love you. And his reply was, thank you, but I think you love the illusion of me.
Mm,
Think about that. The
mm.
illusion of me. Who really knows us more than us? And aren't we just hiding from ourselves all the time?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Totally. All these different layers, these masks that are coming up all the time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do we really know ourselves? Do we want to learn who we are? And how do we cut through the BS of who we think we are and embrace who we really are?
Mm. And
I'm
this is,
hoping for answers. I hear
yeah.
crickets. I hear crickets. Okay, I see that we're about to get started, Jason. And I love these conversations with you, and I'm hoping that the people that will be listening will feel graced as well to learn a new truth about
Beautiful.
meditation. Okay, so here we go. Ready for that start? Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show, where we always learn and grow together. Today's teacher is Jason Stephenson. Well, you know what? Sometimes I was saying off the air, which, by the way, I want to encourage you, because afterwards we always end the show with a meditation by Jason, so we'll have an added bonus at the end of the show. But I was saying to you, Jason, that even the teacher which you are. We consider you a master meditation expert, over close to 1 million listeners and followers, and your meditations have been heard 14 million times. I mean, I was looking at the numbers; it's just crazy. But let's talk about how the master becomes the student, and the student becomes the master. Let's talk about the ebb and flow of how, when things are good, it's easy to meditate, maybe, or maybe is it easier to meditate when things are not going as well? What is your take on that?
Well, let's talk about the master and the student thing.
Okay.
And I hear what you say about the ebb and flow of that, because sometimes if we just know possibly just a little bit more that we can teach that other person, then I guess we kind of become the master to that other person.
Mm-hmm.
However, then there's times when we don't know more than someone else and we become the student. But I believe truly, well, for myself, that I'm forever a student.
Yeah.
Always learning all the time from the other students as well. It's this, so that's where I fit into all of this. I still sometimes think as someone says you're a master or a teacher, I think it's almost by default, if you like. It doesn't feel, it's just something that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
okay.
That's where I sit with that.
Okay. So let's go with this. You said that I was able to share, but here you are, you're putting out all these beautiful meditations to get to sleep, getting rest, living healthy life, positive affirmations. But here's the thing. Many of us don't want to do the emotional work that gets us into this, hooked into the world, hooked into the internet, hooked into all the drama and the trauma. And so what are some of the things that you find for you, even you, has it been difficult to find yourself grounded and to want to meditate on a regular basis? And what happens when you do?
I've just gone through a bit of a tough stage myself, actually, with my family. My dad just recently having a stroke. And I reflect back to a few years ago. If this would have happened probably, 5 years ago, where I wasn't meditating on a regular basis and it wasn't a major part of my life, I don't believe I would have handled it as well as what I have now. I'm not saying I'm any expert at it or anything, but meditation has helped me to be in the moment and to take a breath when required and to, I guess, respond to a situation, to take a step back and respond rather than react instantly and be all over the place, which is what I used to do. I used to come from a place of just reacting straight away and just like, oh my goodness, oh no, oh, just arms flying everywhere. What's going on? This is terrible. This is terrible. And it's like, it's meditation. This gift has given me the opportunity to take a step back, take a moment to pause, to breathe, and to respond in a way that is so much more grounded and centered. And with love and moment by moment. And so,
and that reminder, how does it begin for you? I mean, is it just in the breath? But how do you make yourself committed to that breath?
On a regular basis kind of thing, are you saying? Like,
yes, whenever because there's nobody like family to trigger your buttons. For people that you really truly love, that you want to help the most, there's nothing like it. You think you're evolved, hang out with your family. That's the saying. And then you realize that no, you're still, reacting to the same triggers. And so when you catch yourself off guard, that's when we're most susceptible. How do you center yourself, focus yourself? And perhaps maybe I'm just not getting it because I'm not getting it. And maybe you are saying it. But how do you go from that chaos of the world the stress of the world. Like just recently, you said you had a bit of a slip back, that you were saying, I'm an open book now. I used to pretend, I used to hide. How did you make that shift to say, I want to learn the real me?
Wow, that's a tough question, that one. Lillian, I think it is, what happens is, if you can, it's to do the meditation on a regular basis, because it becomes more of a habit. And then when we begin to do that, it is so much easier to, even if you fall off the cart for a while and don't do it for 5 days or something, it is so much easier to then begin and to realize, okay, I need to get back into this at this particular point in time, especially to help me through this time. I feel that for me, it's been like even 5 minutes in the morning, and I use that 5-minute gift as a way to say, how can I be of service today? Like, what can I do today to step out of myself and to be more available for other people in my life? And I'm not sure if I'm answering this question correctly.
Well, stepping out of yourself and asking that question, is that the first before you go into meditation, or do you go into meditation to put you in that frame of mind of being of service? Which comes first, the chicken or the egg?
I think it is the going into the meditation itself to be of service.
So tip number 1 is setting ourselves up for meditation every morning. Do you do 5 minutes? Do you do more? What do you do personally?
No, in the morning time, I only do 5 minutes. My meditation routine is mainly at night time. That's where I do 20 minutes or so before I go to bed. But morning time is almost like not a meditation, but a contemplation of prayer, if you like, time to be still. And I even still do this lying down whilst I'm in bed. I'm aware of these moments of just, okay, letting go, and how can I be of service today? Or I'm going to be of service today. I want to offer the world love. And so, yeah, that's what I do.
Very good. Very good. So 5 minutes in the morning. And when I'm really, really good, Jason, I make sure my cell phone is nowhere around. And when I'm really, really conscious and aware, when I wake up, and I usually wake up like maybe 15 minutes before my alarm does, my best days start with gratitude. My best mornings and my best days start with, I'm so grateful for this day. And then when I stumble into the bathroom, which is my sanctuary, because as a young mother and as a growing up with all my children and grandchildren and all that, my bathroom is like, don't mess with mommy in the bathroom. With the doors closed, you can only if you're coughing up a lung, come get me. But if you still have that other one and it's viable, wait. So those are some of the things that I had learned, but I want to jump on my day and jump on work and respond to emails and all of that. How do you advise us to, the mindset of all of that will wait, and it will be easy to wait and achieve if you just give yourself this time? Convince me how meditation will serve me the rest of the day if I just do 5 minutes. And what do I do?
Well, can I first of all put my hand up and say that and surrender to that and say that I blew it I made a video about this a few weeks back. I'm all for one for getting rid of the phones out of the bed or switching them to completely block everything.
Good.
There's one morning I woke up, it was 3 a.m. and for some reason, I was drawn to check my emails. This is the biggest no-no. And I learnt my lesson very, very quickly as to, well, there you go. and there was a financial issue and it was an email that was quite horrific. And it was like, oh my goodness, that felt like I really had to act on and get on the computer straight away at 3 a.m. in the morning. And that was a huge lesson for me, that here I am telling people not to have your phones and to not check. And I slipped up and I did this. And I learned my lesson very quickly. That will never, ever be happening again, ever.
And so what do you do now? What did you do? Because when I keep my phone in a different, like if I put my phone in my bathroom, I'm like, I do my meditation, then after I do my meditation, then I bring my phone and then I start doing, whatever I need to do. But, where do you keep your phone?
I still keep my phone in my bedroom. However, I've got it always switched on to
airplane mode.
It's like block, and it
Yeah.
just blocks all calls, all notifications, everything. And I was going to move it out after that incident. I thought, okay, I need to move it out. I thought, no, I'm not going to allow this to control me. I've learnt this lesson now. It's not going to happen again. And thus far, it's not happening again. I'm not checking my phone ever again.
I wish I were that disciplined. And I know it has to do with discipline and how to set ourselves up for success. Mastering anything requires us to, the night before, look at how we are going to protect ourselves for the next morning. So nighttime Lily has to protect daytime Lily. Does that make sense?
That's beautiful. That's perfect. You've got it, Lily. You've got it.
Oh, well, that's because you inspire me. So, but those are some of the things, because I find myself saying, oh my goodness, there's the phone. It's really easy and it's completely in another room, but it's in the bathroom. So eventually I'm going to make my way there. But once I make my way there, it's okay. I need to do my meditation first, maybe do my journaling, which I have slipped on that. I'm not doing as much journaling as I used to journal, and I miss it. And it's that time, it's that mentality that there's not enough time. And perhaps maybe we can talk about that when we're off the air, is like, how do we get past the illusion? Like I had said to you when I met JP Sears, and I said, I love you. And he said, well, I know you do, but what you really love is the illusion of me. So how can we just say, okay, these are some of the safeguards. Nighttime Lily is going to protect daytime Lily, and I am going to put my book out, do my meditation, give myself enough time so that I can start my day off with my 5 minutes of meditation. So we're going to talk about that and more with Jason Stephenson when we return worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. So Jason, how do you safeguard yourself? I know you said you put it off, you turn it off, but if you turn it on, that 3 o'clock in the morning financial thing, was that a spam? Was that a scam?
No, this was an incident that,
okay.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I'd redirected money to an international transfer, and a lot of money, and I told them the wrong country code, and so it went to New Zealand. It's like, oh my goodness.
Oh,
so I was like,
yeah. And
get on top of that.
Oh, yes. Well, and that completely destroys your sleep. And that's what happens to me. I'll wake up at 3 in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning. And I feel that that's when I'm most inspired. I'm really inspired during that time. I write my articles but it's the mindless, useless time.
Absolutely.
Surfing that.
Absolutely.
So what do you do to avoid that? When you are on the phone and you are trying to remain focused?
I think it's this awareness, though, Lily. I think it's becoming deeper and deeper aware of this. When you begin to be catching yourself doing this, if you catch yourself doing it, then you become just waking up more and more and more. I'm just reading this book actually on the dangers of actually social media and mindless surfing and studies that are starting to take place, the addiction. And this is what I can see is going to be happening. People are just picking up the phones and just flicking through like this.
Hours. You can spend hours liking. And hey, listen, people like you and me, I mean, I'm not trying to compare me at the level, but you are a much higher level when it comes to people knowing you. We're in the public eye. And, you want to reciprocate, you want to be kind, you want to like things, and you want to be able to do that. But it's become an issue for me when it's taking part of my life.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
that, how do you balance it? Do you have a team?
I do have a team. I have a team now. Yeah. And I'm ever so grateful for that, because that was just exhausting, really exhausting. I used to answer virtually every comment. Not anymore. No, it's yeah.
So I'll have to, off the air, I'm going to have to get your personal number so I can text you. Anyway, I'll text you at 3 a.m. Hey, I need motivation, Jason.
You won't get the answer, not now.
Well, 3 o'clock for me is what time for you?
Oh, that's correct. That might be the middle of the day or something for me. That's a different story.
Well, actually, 3 o'clock in the morning, yes, because 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're still in bed for an Australia time, right?
Yes.
Because it's, yeah. So
yes.
It's,
I get the time zones muddled up completely.
Yes. Okay, so when we come back, what I'd like to do is, of course, this is where I talk about my my website and my social media, which we all love, right? But I also want to talk about addictions and how easy it is to be conscious, but when we're in an addictive state, consciousness versus addictions. How about that? Okay, I see that we're ready to get started, and we're going to do so like right now. Okay, welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show, where you can hear us worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. I am your host, Lillian McDermott, and it is my goal that we go through life with childlike wonder to learn from the person in front of you. And what a thrill that today our teacher is Jason Stephenson. It's Mastering Meditation Monday, so that we can start developing a habit that will be a successful habit. I will be the first one to say that I am not disciplined. For some reason, time becomes more important than making things easier for myself. I completely lull myself into thinking that I don't have 5 minutes. Can you relate to that? If so, let's do this together. Let's get it. Jason's going to help us with Meditation Mondays, and we're going to create a new habit. Maybe he can challenge us today in how to develop some great habits, even when we fall off the bandwagon, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But for now, I want to encourage you to go to whenyounneedafriend.com. Not everybody has a good friend to turn to. And so I'm hoping that whenyounneedafriend.com will be the place where you can go to when you need a friend. And this is where we take 100% responsibility and ownership of our life. No longer can you blame, shame, fault anyone for what's going on in your life. If we own our life, we own the good, the bad, and the ugly. How can we repair it? How can we fix it? Sounds like to me meditation is a good start, a good way to get started. So go to whenyounneedafriend.com, subscribe, and if you think you're not going to, you say you're going to do it later, don't lie. Just send me your email. Text me at 407-373-5959. Text me your email, and I will subscribe you for you. And that way, all you have to do is confirm, and then the shows will be sent to you, and the free gifts that we give away will be sent to you. And while you're there at whenyounneedafriend.com, make sure you like my social media. Follow me on social media. Follow me on my YouTube channel, which is where we get the off-the-air conversations. So if you like what you're hearing on the air, or if you like what you're hearing on podcasts, make sure that you go to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then everything will be sent to you and you can watch it whenever it's convenient. So here we go, another free gift. And so I want to encourage you to also, while you're there, check out my sponsors. Without my sponsors, this show would not happen. So check out my sponsors and figure out ways that you can support them the way they're supporting me and the show. This is free information for you. And I just hope that we can continue this revolution, this movement of taking ownership of our life. So today we're talking with Jason Stephenson. If you have not heard of Jason Stephenson, if you go to YouTube and you enter his name, you will see the millions of people that have followed and watched his views for meditations and for sleep especially. And positive affirmations. And if you go to jasonstephenson.net, you will see all the people that have been affected by this simple practice of meditation. So Jason, thank you so much for being part of the Lillian McDermott radio show and joining us with the Meditation Mondays, Mastering Meditation on Monday with Jason Stephenson. Yay! Welcome. Thank you back.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here again, Lillian.
Yes.
Great to be a part of this.
So
yeah, I wanted to pick you up with that in regards to not enough time to meditate. And can I tell you, even sometimes in the early days, I used to use that. I would say, no, I can put it off today. There's too much going on.
Yes.
And I remember then hearing someone speak, and I think it was the late Wayne Dyer, and he said, if you say to yourself that you haven't got enough time to meditate, that is when you need to meditate. Because that means your life is so much more busier and possibly chaotic that you need that space, that we need to give us that space. And when I sat down and I heard that and I thought, wow, isn't that so true? Doesn't that ring true for me? And, from that point on, I just thought, okay, well, 5 minutes. So now when I catch myself, if I just get up and say, no, just today, I'll just miss out because I have got this and this. And it's now this, it just pulls me back in now. I'm like, okay, that means you need to meditate today more than ever. And so this is what I've been using now, to just that little reminder, because so often we can say that, Lillian, we can use every excuse under the sun. Mm-hmm. I bet you we wouldn't say that, if it was to have lunch or to, not enough time to do this. It's interesting in regards to our mental health and being at peace and to function better, which meditation will help us to do, we seem to just discard it and put it off.
Why do you think that is true? Why do you think we discard it? What does meditation do for us? Why would those 5 minutes matter?
I think that's the whole thing. I think maybe possibly some don't understand the benefits of meditation over the long term. It's not something that is, sure, it has short-term benefits, of just feeling a lot more calm and centered, but longer-term benefits puts us in a position to be able to, as I mentioned before, to respond more in life rather than to react, to have more compassion and empathy for others. These are some of the benefits that meditation can give us, and to lower our blood pressure. This has been proven now, scientifically proven. This just happens. This is what it does. And there are so many benefits of meditation.
So I read that one of the benefits of meditation is age reversal. That if we meditate for after 5 years, you are younger. It's like you reverse your age. And something like that is like, what happens? What is it that happens to us? And meditation doesn't have to be complicated. It's just a matter of breathing, right? It's just breathing.
That's exactly all it is. It's just breathing and the awareness of our breath. It really is so simple. But sometimes we make it so complex in our mind and we think, I can't do that. Well, we can do this. Everyone can do this. Everyone can do this, because all we need to do is just to find time to be still and to be aware. And that's not, when I talk about that, that's not blocking out thoughts. That's not a part of the process. It's just being aware, and being aware of thoughts if they come up. It's having this 100% awareness of this present. And it's almost like when we are in this zone, time can stand still. Time doesn't matter anymore.
But time is so important because we make time an excuse not to do it. And I don't know about you, but I consider myself an expert breather. I think we're all expert breathers. Without being an expert breather, I think we'd all become extinct. So with that in mind, I know that's a great deep philosophy there.
It's true.
So
Beautiful.
I just cracked myself up just a little bit. Okay, so as we look at this, I will tell you, Jason, that I have forgotten how to breathe. There have been times in my life, literally, that I went back to a speech vocalist that was therapist, that I sat down, and as she was evaluating me, she told me that I had not breathed once during the evaluation. And I said, well, how could that be? I have been breathing, because if not, I wouldn't be responding to you right now. And so she said, your breaths are shallow. They're in your chest. And when your chest goes up and down, you are not breathing properly. Can you go a little deeper into the proper breathing for meditation?
We find that when we're stressed in particular, and if it's a constant zone of being in that stressed out place, that exactly like you said, the breath stays within the chest, and it's almost like this shallow,
yes,
almost panting, just like so. So I come previously from a singing background, so I was fortunate to have that breathing, that diaphragmatic breathing, drummed in, and that is sending that breath, being aware of that breath. And even if you visualize that breath going all the way down to that almost belly button area. And so the belly, when we're breathing in, that belly area and the sides even, and our lower back expand. And when we breathe out, that contracts in. And so that is a place in meditation where when we say, we shift our focus to our breathing, that we can actually feel the sensations of the breath going in and out from that lower belly area.
And I did not know that a long time ago. And so that is a key. So that's all we have to do is just breathe like that. And we're going to continue this conversation. I want to, as we go on this little break, I want you to practice this breathing. And if you see your chest going up, it's not the right way. Focus on looking at it's like an accordion of your stomach going out and coming back in. And we're going to continue our conversation with Dr. Jason Stephenson when we return. World, I just gave you a title. When we return, we'll find it when you need a friend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. You're an honorary doctor. Look at you. An expert breather and an honorary doctor. Oh, gee. See, all these things happen on the Lillian McDermott radio show. Unedited, because we're live. So yes, I'm glad that you talked about that expansion and what it feels like. And as you were saying that, what I visualized was an accordion. Someone playing the accordion, and then...
That was beautiful. That's beautiful visual to I'll remember that one. I like that because that's what it is.
Oh, well, I'm gonna make it my own. No, I'm just kidding.
Trademark.
But when you have me on your show, so that you have me on your whatever, we'll talk about the accordion, the Lady of Spain. The Lady of Spain. It was just like go in, go out. See, that's the thing. Okay, so here is another thing that I've had people talk to me about. And when we go back on the air, I really do want to talk about addictions versus
awareness and
yes,
conscious.
Consciousness. That's it.
Mm,
I couldn't
mm,
even think of the word. Okay. So I get so many people say to me, I just can't quiet my mind. So here's the question for you,
mm,
Jason. If you can't quiet your mind,
mm.
could it be that your body is trying to speak to you to resolve some issues from your past? That the noise that we hear from the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. I don't know if you've seen the Grinch Who Stole Christmas, the
No, I
cartoon.
haven't. I haven't.
You haven't? It's your
No.
homework till the next time we see the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. There's the cartoon that was from the 50s or 60s. I'll have to,
Wow.
Google it. Or Robert, if you can Google it for me and just put it
Probably
up
on
there.
YouTube.
Oh, yeah. It's like
Probably.
it's a tradition in our family. But I remember the Grinch saying, oh, the noise, the noise, the noise from Whoville. Whoville was this lovely group of tiny little people, and nothing got him upset. And the Grinch hated that. He hated it. And the noise was the singing. The singing and the laughter and the love was noise to him. And
Mm.
so when I hear people talk to me about, I just can't stop the noise, I say, well, maybe it's time to listen to the noise and take note of the noise and heal the noise. What do you think of that?
Yeah. What I can say about that is that, however, I understand that if there's a particular thing that keeps coming up in this meditation practice, that if it happens within that 5-minute time frame, then acknowledge that, Lillian, and say, okay, I think maybe I possibly need to do something about this later. I'm going to put this to the side now, but for these 5 minutes, this is my time. And I can let go and I can return to that thought if it keeps coming up over and over again. It, as you said, it could be something that's, it's trying to tell you something, but for your time in meditation, then you have time to let that go just for those 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Or
I like that. I like that discipline. I love that discipline that you're talking about. And I do want to talk about, because when you're dealing with addiction, and will meditation help people with addiction? And hold that, don't answer now because we're about to get started on our next segment. But, let's talk about the reality of how meditation can help addiction, and whether it's drugs, or food, or sex, or sugar. We're so addicted. We have addicted, and food is the only addiction that people just come together and we're like, yay, let's celebrate. Let's eat more like horrible food and sugar, and let's all celebrate. And when somebody dies because they've celebrated too much from, diabetes or heart disease or all these conditions, then we join them. And I heard this quote, I'm not making this up, I heard this at Eating You Alive. This doctor said, and the ironic part is that we're eating the same foods that got the person in the casket. So these are just really, these are addictions that we all embrace, that we're saying, hey, it's okay, have that second piece of pie.
Absolutely. I mean, alcohol's like that in Australia. It's just full on, it's accepted. And if you don't drink, you're actually an outcast.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Okay, this is our last segment, Jason. I can't let go.
Wow.
Okay, so here we go. Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn from each other. And today's teacher is Jason Stephenson. You can find him on YouTube for meditations, and you can go to jasonstephenson.net. And on there's a little button that is for his YouTube channel. So I want to encourage you to support him as he's coming on the show and loving us with his wisdom. Let's love him back by following him as well. Let's get him over that 1 million person that loves and subscribes to his channel. So Jason, while we're off the air, we talked about addiction and why addiction is so meditation can help people with addictions. And we're talking about addictions of all walks of life. Now, you have shared with me on the show and privately, which you said I could share, is that you have struggled with addictions from your past, and there have been huge consequences in your life because of it. So let's talk about how addiction, when you're in that addictive mode, how you snap out of it and get back into that consciousness of saying, I am not, or I am going to embrace a healthy lifestyle.
Well, as I was mentioning to you before, I had a problem many years ago with alcohol, with drinking quite a lot, and an addiction, basically. And I thought I'd had it in check, and it picked up again just recently, not too long ago. And then I became aware of it, and I thought, okay, if I don't do something about this now, I'm going to fall back to where I was. And so I decided to stop completely again for a couple of months. And I remember during those couple of months, and I was on my own, but I was in the country then, so I had no real support. I actually had no friends there because I've just moved there recently. So I was totally on my own with my dog, and that was probably a reason why I began to fall into this trap, this mind-numbing stuff.
Did you have one of those dogs that have brandy and just brought you the brandy?
Oh, that's beautiful.
No, it's not. It's being mean to me. That was just being silly. But go ahead.
It's so beautiful. And so what I did, how I managed to get through the really tough times of, I remember ringing a friend back in New South Wales and saying, if any time that I could have a drink, it would be right now. I'm finding this really, really hard. And then my friend would say, well, you have to do something about it. And anyway, I got off the phone, and I realized then that I had a moment to say, and I just said to myself, and this is strength that's developed over time, and I believe that meditation has given me some of this as well. And I said to myself, okay, well, that's not an option now. This is not an option, drinking right now. And what are you going to do about it? That's what I just said to myself. What are you going to do about it? And what happened was then I took my dog, ironically enough, for a walk, and I'd forgotten. When I come back, and then it was the night, it went into the night again, and I totally forgotten it and got through that day, that tough moment. And I think what it is with the addictions is it comes and goes, it wanes. Sometimes it's strong, other times you got it all under control. Yeah.
And so at that moment, when you're saying because you obviously were able to get the alcohol and have that relapse, which many people relapse. So how do you went on the walk, that was some of a prayer, a meditation, because being in nature can fill your battery, recharge your battery. But there's got to be reasons why the need for the alcohol or the need for the addiction. Would it be, if we get to the root cause along with meditation, do you feel that is something that is like a shoot you out of a cannon, or is every day I want to drink and I need to go on a walk instead of going to the liquor store? How is it for you, and how can you help? What would you say to someone who's listening to you right now, wanting to do whatever it is that is causing them to stay stuck in their life? Prisoner.
I'd say first thing is we have to acknowledge where we're at, to yourself, and not being afraid also to reach out for help as well, whether that be just to speak about it with a friend, with a life coach, with a counselor, because that's another thing. I have a life coach, and I've spoken to her about this. We got it, and she was saying to me, like you said, well, what is it that it's giving you? And then she also said, what are the joys that it's giving you? She said, and have you thought about what are the joys that you're missing out on when you do have it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's an interesting thing,
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, falling into that trap of drinking, then other things don't function so well in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I started to reflect on that as well, I was like, whoa, okay, yeah, this is what drinking is doing. It's ruining this, it's wrecking this. It's just, yeah, not a good part, not good thing for me.
So at that moment, you go from being unconscious
Mm,
to being conscious, from, going by your feelings to going by your commitments.
mm,
That shift that happens. And and that meditation allowed you to ignore it until the intensity went away. Is that what you do?
yeah, I think meditation overall in the long scheme of things, to do this every day gives me this it brings on this greater awareness, self-awareness, um, that gets me through day by day by day, one day at a time. Um,
And it doesn't matter what an expert meditation or meditator you are, we're all susceptible to the world. And that's what the whole show is about today, is how to, even the master becomes the student. Even the student becomes the master. We can learn from everybody. Jason is someone that we look to for meditation. But I love, love, love the fact, Jason, that you put on your pants one leg at a time, unless you jump in and I don't know about it, but you are human, and
mm,
you're sharing your vulnerabilities, because you could have said, well, I'm not going to share that with my followers because I don't want to ruin my ratings or anything to that effect. But
mm.
you're saying, hey, we're in on this together. And this is how meditation has helped me, even when there's chaos and stress in my life. I am learning how to shift from being unconscious to being conscious.
That's it. That's it. And I am the first one. I'm not afraid to speak up about where I'm at and who I am, because, you know, some people put me on a pedestal and that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a
The
place.
illusion. The
Yeah,
illusion.
the illusion,
Yeah.
absolutely the illusion. And I feel that, you know, the more I can be truthful to myself, then the greater I will be at healing myself, and the greater I will be at healing other people, because I can give permission to you or to anyone else that listens to this to be themselves, and it's okay. That, you know, we fall, we slip up along the way, but we can get back up, and ultimately we are love anyway. All of it is an illusion.
And the question that we can ask ourselves to get us back to that grounding is, what is stressing my body? What am I afraid to look at? What is, because sometimes we just don't want to be called a fraud. In our thoughts, we're our worst enemy, saying all these things that we shouldn't say to ourselves. And here we are. We don't want to be a fraud. And then that's the stress that comes in when we can just be ourselves. And I'm so grateful to you, Jason, for always showing up as you, because you're the only you that could ever be you. So thank you so
Sure.
much.
Thank you, Lillian.
And to you, my listening friends, there's going to be a meditation after the show, so check out the YouTube video. Please remember, we'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott and Jason Stephenson wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever.
Ever.
Good job. Good job. And we made it. I was just going to go into this other tangent. And thank you, Robert, for recording the show today. I appreciate you. And so there's just so much, what is causing addiction? What is causing chaos? And, this is something that I wanted to talk about on the air, but I was just so in the moment. But one of the things I wanted to say is that if there is addiction, or there is something, there's a root cause for it. We don't want to look at the root cause because we don't want to deal with the pain of the root cause. but yet we drag the pain with us everywhere we go.
Mm, mm. You see, with that, Lillian, the root cause, and I was only speaking to my life coach about this the other day, and I said to her, she said, why do you want to drink? And I said, I'll be honest with you. I said, if I don't drink, and this is in our culture in Australia too, I feel like I'm missing out on something. If I stop drinking completely, I feel like I'm missing out on something. And the thought, I can, at the moment, it's in control, and I have a couple of glasses of wine every few days. But the thought of someone inviting me to a barbecue and not drinking, and even to the point I'm actually going to a barbecue in the next few days, and the guy's pretty strong about that. You've got to drink, you've got to have a good time. And I'd say, look, say if I choose not to drink, it's okay, and I will have a good time as well. I don't need to have the alcohol. I can still have a good time. But it's like it's drummed in that if we don't drink, we're really missing out on something.
So here's the question. Okay, as a life coach, you open for coaching?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure I am.
What's the something? What's the something you're missing? What's that name? Call it by the root cause of the name. What is something?
There's a freedom.
Okay, freedom.
There's also the sensation of completely letting go. And just that little bit of numbness, that little bit of that just takes the edge off everything.
Mm.
This is me totally honest,
No, that's good. That's good, because, someone who's dealing with addiction right now is listening to you and going, I get it. But do you realize it's all a lie?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lie that we use to sabotage ourselves, because deep down inside, we don't feel worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Because really, if we think about it, addictions are like a ball and chain. There are shackles to us. And if you think about it, when you think about it and you fantasize about it, it's freedom. It's letting go. But here's the real truth. It's numbness. Now we're really being truthful. And then the question is, what are you trying to numb? And you don't have to answer that. We can talk that off the air. But, what are we trying to numb? What is the truth that we don't want to look at? That's the truth that we don't want to open it up and say, it's too painful. I don't want to look in there. I don't want to see myself. I don't like whatever it is that's there. I don't even want to look at it. But yet we drag it with us everywhere for years and years and years in our life. I'm like a one and done type of girl. I learn a lesson once, I'm done. I learned the lesson, we're moving on. That's how I am. But there are times in my life, and I just had a scare where they thought I had a brain tumor, and not knowing for 2 months what it was. I could tell you I had to practice everything within me to keep my thoughts positive, to do all that stuff. But I did some digging. Of my own, Jason. And I know, because of the work I do, that anything in the brain means that you don't feel intellectually respected. And that's the root cause that becomes dis-ease. And so I started looking at myself and going, I need to deal with this truth that I am not enough. And 7 years ago or 8 years ago, I think that if they would have taken a scan of my brain, that would have been bigger. Wow. But because I have done some of the work, it's smaller. And what some people think is the beginning of a tumor, I say it's the end of a tumor. because I'm willing to go in there and look at the root cause so that the power goes away. Does that make sense? I don't know if...
Absolutely, it's making sense. And I think, Lillian, I have to go. I think I'm still digging when you keep saying, what is the root cause? What's going on? My mind is still going around trying to get to I think there's a lot of digging still to go for me.
Yeah.
I've only actually just begun this. Yeah.
I love the fact that we can dig and that it's safe. So I have a saying, Jason, that the body won't forget what the brain wants to neglect. The body is saying, we got to deal with this. We got to deal with this. And the brain's going, nah, we're going to ignore it. We're going to forget it. And the body going, no, the body loves us. And the body says, okay, if you don't deal with that breakup or you don't deal with that whatever happened to you, which is going to cause you pain, I'm going to give you pain. And that's when our back goes out or we're like feeling sick all the time, because the body wants to honor and be in sync. The gut and the brain, the sync of that wants to be in alignment. So all those things happen to us. And I promise you or anyone who's watching that if we are willing to embrace that, what we want to neglect, that if we give our body and our brain permission to remember, to embrace, I bet you that it will lead you to letting go and freedom. That's the truth. That's the truth. Does that make sense?
It certainly does. It certainly does.
Anyway, so this is fun. I love you. I love you, Jason. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'd love for you to give us a 1-2 minute meditation that we can take with us as we end this segment. If you would honor us with that, I would love that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Okay. Let's begin. And you can do this just sitting upright, or you can lie down if you like.
Oh, I'm going to lay down.
And closing your eyes. And let's bring ourselves to this present moment, and we can begin by taking in some deep breaths, and we're breathing in through the nose and sending that breath all the way down to that lower belly area. And like Lillian says, imagine that belly like an accordion, that it's blowing. When you're sending that breath in, it's expanding, opening up. And then when that breath leaves you, the accordion just goes in. And bring your awareness to that sensation of that breath going in and out. It's through your nose. You may feel the sides expand and even the lower back area expand. See if you can actually tune in to those sensations. And while we continue to do this, while you continue to breathe, once you use this moment, that this is a time when you can just simply be, and you can let go of, we sometimes wear masks in life for business, for friends, for family, for sports, for recreation. We put on different masks. Well, now we can use these few moments of the breathing to take off these masks, because ultimately it's just all about love, because that's who we truly are, and everything else is an illusion. And as Lily says, we have freedom. We are freedom. just visualize, if you like, even these masks peeling off. You're peeling them from your face. And you're getting back to the truth of who you are and all that you are. Perfection. God's perfection. With faults and all, we are perfection. And it's coming back and listening to sounds within your room at this point in time. Bring your awareness right into the room that you're currently in. And into your body, the sensations that you feel in your body right now. You might like to even wiggle your fingers and toes to really bring yourself back to be fully present in your body. And when you are ready, opening your eyes and coming back.
I feel joy. I'm so joyful. Thank you, Jason. As you were calling us back, I was thinking, Jason Stephenson is just doing a meditation for the Lillian McDermott radio show. What an honor. Thank you so much for everything that you do to create awareness and for being human and allowing us humanity as well. Because when we look at people, they all are illusion. We're all illusions of each other. And the irony is, we see in others who we are. Mm. And so I'm so grateful that you reflect who we are as well in our humanity. In your humanity, you allow us to be human too. So thank you, Jason Stephenson, for everything you do. It's been
an absolute honor. And I send you love and all the listeners love. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. And for those of you who stayed to the end for this extra bonus meditation, if you like the show, please like us and subscribe and share this so that, is it below? Yes, that's right. Like me, make a comment, share your humanity with us, because it's all about being one. What happens to you happens to me. Even if you don't know it, our body knows it. Our intuition knows it. And so grateful for this time. And I'm looking forward to our next Monday meditation, Mastering Meditation. Monday, Mastering Meditation. Thank you so much, Jason.
God bless.
And thank you.